This is The Parker's Couch, a podcast delivering real talk, real laughs, with no limits. Featuring Cameron, Carlin, and Carl, the Parker brothers.
How does this happen? It's because we have become nothing but sheep.
God, yes.
And a sheep is a dumb animal. It just
That's the sound bite right there.
That's the sound out of the year right there.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. How are my brothers doing?
What up?
Hello, people.
It is the
Yes.
the most debonair back again.
Oh, he's still doing it in season 2, y'all, but we are here. We're
We're
back
here.
on the couch.
We
This
here.
is the place where you come to get your sports and political talk. We're going to deliver you real laughs, real talk, no limits. Isn't that right, brothers?
Ain't no limit.
And
Well, a lot has happened since we have been gone. I mean, the Orange Man got into the office. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. And so much has happened in between then with trades and news, and the world is on fire. It is just so much going on. And it is a great time to return, brothers, because we also have March Madness going on.
Yes, we do. The madness has
Yes,
already
yes,
started.
Already started. It's like the year's already flying by. Um, first, I say I want to start first with those Carolina Tar Heels. This season has not been one of glory. It's been one that's been painful to watch the whole time.
Yes, it has.
And then we were waiting, which I honestly thought, I don't know, it could have went either way whether or not we were going to get into the tournament in the first place. And so drama started whenever Carolina got named as that last four in, and people were not happy because Mr. Bubba Cunningham, who is the AD, was also the chair of the election committee. So that definitely raised some eyebrows, and people had some things to say. What do y'all think about the Tar Heels getting in the tournament? First of all,
well, what did that first game show?
silence.
Silence.
A 95 to 68 beatdown.
I think that speaks volumes within itself. But how many games did the Tar Heels win this year?
They won what, like 22, 23 games?
21. I think 22 with that game. Or no, 23. So, 22 games in the regular season.
20. That is correct. Just think about that. Historically, if you won 20 plus games in the ACC as an ACC team, you're pretty much a shoe-in the NCAA. So, I mean, I don't see what all the hoopla is about yet. I mean, the ACC isn't what it used to be. I get that.
Right.
But we can't help it if the SEC has just made this super conference, and they have
14 teams. 14 teams.
they have the whole SEC in the tournament. We can't help that.
Like
Yeah,
the
bro.
ACC historically has kind of been disrespected already with this tournament. Even when the ACC was like good and we
Yeah.
had those competitive, I remember so many times like the Virginia Techs and all them not making the
And
tournament.
Clemson's not making it after winning like 19, 20 games. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah. But I mean, we were over 20 wins. I mean, you're in the Power Five conference and you have over 20 wins, I think you're going to make it in the tournament.
I I think so. That you tested. What do y'all think about all this quad one stuff in those metrics?
I mean, that could be so tricky. One week you could be quad one, and then the next week you're quad two. So, and I guess it kind of depends when you play when you play the team. Um, it has some value to it, but I don't think it should be the end all be all whenever you are trying to pick teams to go into the tournament. To me, I think if you look at the past success of the ACC last year, where I think we only got four teams in, and all four teams made it to the Sweet 16 at least.
Preach.
I think even though we don't have as many teams as when I say we, I mean the ACC has as many teams as other conferences. Whenever the teams do get in the tournament, they do perform at a high level. And I know it's year to year, but that should still mean something. Like you have the Big Ten always has 10 teams that's in the tournament, and one team's alive by the Sweet 16. You know, that's I mean
Yeah.
it's gonna be that way like every year. So I understand that they have good competition within the league. Is it that they're just beating up each other and they're not necessarily as great as we think they are outside of the league? Or so to answer your question, that quad one it's a determining factor. I don't think it's the greatest determining factor. To me, I look at um other metrics to see who's more dominant, like how much you're winning by whenever you play these good teams or losing by. How close are your games? What is your
Hmm.
um how you turn the ball over? How you performing, offensively and defensively? Those are things that, and the eye test to me is the biggest thing. If you see a team that you clearly like Carolina, you can see is one of the best teams, one of the top 16 teams in the country, in my opinion. To start the year in the top 10, then you should see that this team is like Carolina is deserving over a team in the Mountain West or something like that, who we just destroyed.
That's the eye test for me. Analytics, I think, are hurting basketball right now
Yes.
in a lot of ways, um, especially with the 3-point shot and,
Oh,
Oh goodness! Don't get me started with that.
you know, take guys taking shots so early in the shot clock and you know
yeah.
trying to create extra possessions that way and just it, the sweet science of basketball has gone away. Now we're in this robotic age of, hey, get it across the timeline in 6 seconds, and we need to get a shot up within that first 10 seconds.
Hmm.
Yeah.
After getting it across the timeline, I just don't. And it's either got to be a three, a corner three, or a dunk.
Right, exactly. Like the middle mid game is non-existent. It's
Can we kind
not
of
considered a
combine?
bad shot.
Can we kind of combine the college and the NBA in this talk? Because
Oh,
I just feel like basketball for me this season has just been so hard to watch
It's been impossible to watch.
in general.
Hmm.
I haven't watched the full game all year.
Like when does that ever happen with us?
Never.
Not being
I,
able to watch a full basketball game.
I
This is the first year that I didn't watch any part of the All Star Weekend. Not one event.
It used to
At
be
all.
we used to love watching the All Star Weekend.
Oh my
Yes, All
god.
Star Weekend was the what a great time during the season. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yes, it's All Star Weekend.
And
Yeah.
it's starting to get that way with college basketball.
What's
Oh
that with
yeah,
college?
the same with college as well. Yeah.
I'm starting to feel the same way about college basketball.
Yes. That's why I was like, can we combine the two? Because college it's and I think it's a lot. You maybe think of what you're talking about with the whole analytics and the way people just approach the game now and the kind of strategies. I to me is making the game suffer.
It
It's
is.
overcoaching. I think it's over strategy. Can we just play ball? Let the players play. I think people on the sidelines try to do too much. Like if there's a place for analytics, but it shouldn't be the main attraction whenever you're watching basketball.
Mm.
It should be about the players.
Where the coaches are now taking center stage. They want to be the biggest
They want to be
brain.
the big stars.
I,
Yeah.
I I didn't come here to watch you, Calipari, or you,
Exactly.
Pacino, or you
And they
know,
also old and stuff too. It's like, who would have sit there and watch y'all? Like, they're not that interesting.
Yeah.
no.
It's just been like disappointing for me this season. It's really been hard to get into. Yeah, and the 3-point shot, like, I mean, I love a 3-pointer, but good lord, I don't love it that much. With this game,
I,
I mean, it's so bad that even Magic and
I
Mike, all the old players are like, "What is this? What is this product?"
I've grown to hate the 3-point shot now.
Yeah.
I I used to
And I
say
mean, it is too much.
this is a great weapon. I used to feel like, hey, this is a great weapon. To utilize in certain, in certain
mm-hmm.
aspects of the game. But now I mean, there isn't a big man anymore.
No,
Oh,
You're
it's
just a
not.
big part.
yeah, there to get an offensive rebound and try to score something, or
I mean,
you shooting 3-pointers. You out there standing at the 3-point line yourself, though. So
yeah, the guards are getting more rebounds than bigs now.
yeah,
Back in the day, if a guard went down there in that post,
It got a rebound. What are you doing
he,
out
bam,
here?
you get
he
This is my ball. This
goes
is
down
my
there because
rebound.
he too small. He's around the rim.
Right.
yes,
Don't catch him.
yes.
But uh,
I don't know. The Celtics winning the championship might have been the worst thing to
It
happen
could
to the
the
NBA.
Celtics and the Warriors.
Celtics,
Steph Curry, God bless him,
yes,
he has made
he is
believers out
part
of
of
people who should not be believers.
yes.
He's Jesus Christ himself
Uh,
walking on this earth.
he has ruined the game.
Yes, it's just, oh gosh, I agree. It's just so hard to watch, and especially like the NBA around this time. I like usually I'm very invested.
Oh, this is
We
the
about to
time.
get here to go to
Yes.
playoff time,
hmm And I
and
can care less who wins, when it starts, who's playing who. Who cares?
I've sat and watched a little bit, and there've been like little elements of more competitiveness coming out. As it's turning the corner toward the playoffs, but overall, the game just sucks.
And we're going to talk about some other things that have turned me off too later in this program about the way
Yes.
the game is covered.
All
It
right.
Yeah,
is
We would definitely.
awful, the
we
state that we're in right now
we
in
can
terms of journalism as a whole, but especially in the NBA. It
well we
is god awful.
call it journalism anymore, but yeah, like you said, we'll talk about that later. Um, let's 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 get back to the NCAA.
All right. Here we are. The tournament. We're here in the tournament. First question I have for y'all. Everybody, let's help people out with their brackets. Work brackets are going out, friend brackets, all these things. We're filling out our own. I'm going to be filling out all of mine tonight. I'm
Me
waiting to
too.
that Texas Xavier game to kind of see what them boys are going to be looking like. But who do you have as a sleeper? Who is someone that one of the lower seeds that you think could make an eventual Sweet 16 run, or maybe even further? Who knows?
I have three teams that I kind of like. Um,
What's the mine?
UC San Diego is 12 seed that's going to face. I think they play in Michigan, right?
Yes.
Yes.
5. Michigan didn't get any favors in that. Another, as
That was a
my brother
terrible
so
seeding.
eloquently stated,
Oh, they were
a
underseeded.
Big Ten
Horrible.
team probably going to go out quick because this team is really good. It's probably the best of the 12 seeds out there. UC San Diego. Um, my my next team will be Arkansas. They're a 10 seed.
Okay. I don't think
Sneaky.
people are really
Okay.
thinking about them.
Yeah.
They're a 10 seed, and um, Patino. I mean, he's done pretty well with those guys, and he's had some good moments of coaching them up. So I think that 7-10 matchup is going to go in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna just step out there on Yale.
Okay. Let's hear it for Yale. I feel like the Ivy always plays tough
That-
in these
I mean,
tournaments.
always play tough, but Yale is what, a 13 seed.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's
it's tough.
a 13 matchup. So um,
Very good team offensively.
very good team offensively, and Yale just has that pedigree. I mean, I think what they've been in the tournament the last six years,
Yeah.
haven't they?
Oh yeah, they're like an experienced tournament team at this point.
They took out Auburn last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The biggest upsets in the tournament. Yep.
So those are three teams. Yale might not make that Sweet 16 run, but I think they could pull off that
And upset.
4-13 upset. But Sweet 16, I can see Arkansas or UC San Diego um, possibly making a run.
All right. That's some good ones. What you got, Carlin?
You know, the NCAA to me is always about guard play. One team that I like a lot, in the game I like a lot is Missouri versus Drake with 6'11". Drake is super experienced, especially in the backcourt. I like Drake to pull the upset and make the Sweet 16. Even though I like Missouri offensively, I think they can be had defensively. Um, so that's my sleeper to get to the Sweet 16. Another team I have my eye on is Clemson. Clemson is they've been underrated the entire season. I think they are super tough. I love their backcourt. They're in Houston's bracket, which scares me because I like that Houston team a lot too. But I think that'll be a great showdown if they meet up. Clemson versus Houston. And the third team I was thinking about to the home state. Come on, High Point University. Going
I,
against
Oh,
Purdue.
okay.
yeah, I thought about them too, bro.
High Pizzy. Come on, High Pizzy. Got a chance to make the Sweet 16. I think that'll be a great story if they can make the Sweet 16. I like them.
They're
Versus
13,
Purdue.
right? They're 13 this year, right?
Yeah, the 13 against Purdue.
Purdue, yeah.
Yeah. So those are
Big.
my three teams to take a chance on if you're gambling out there or you filling out your bracket.
So one of mine you stole, Drake. Yes, we're talking
Drake,
about
Drake,
Drake.
Drake.
That is my sleeper because in the offseason, I mean, they beat Vandy, they beat Georgia, they beat Miami. They played some power schools, and they beat them. Them boys can do it. I like guard play too, and they're strong. So I'm looking at Drake for a potential Sweet 16. And I don't like to look at us as a sleeper, but this year we are a sleeper, baby. And the way that the Hills played Tuesday night, oh, I could see if they could keep that energy, definitely at least a Sweet 16 going for them. It will be interesting to see how these boys play.
I'd like to see them kill that haterade that's out there on them.
Oh,
Oh yes. It was
I
so
would love.
satisfying yesterday to shut those people up.
Stephen A. and what's his
Steph
name?
Davis.
Steph Davis.
Oh God.
What?
Whiny.
Just shut them all
How
up.
about the governor of freaking West
Clowns.
Virginia? You got enough to worry about in the state of West Virginia to worry about a freaking
About some
tournament.
investigation.
Investigation. How about go out there and get some people out of them coal mines?
How about that?
How about that? How about that?
How
All
about you
right.
worry about your GDP and your unemployment?
At that part. All right. Last thing. Final 4 picks. Have y'all gotten that far?
I
If you
gotta
haven't
agree,
No,
guys.
gotten that
I
far,
think it's gonna it's destined to win.
I, I haven't gotten that far.
it don't have to be all 4. At least if you have 1 or 2 teams that you think that you think would be like, if I had to put a lock on this team making the Final
Florida,
4, did you say Florida?
If
yeah,
Florida doesn't
That's
win,
fine.
I would be shocked.
Florida has got to be a lock.
I would say Florida, and you know what? I probably would say Duke because of their path.
Oh, that
Yeah,
path is Cupcake
gotta,
City.
yeah.
Yeah.
Their path does not is I mean that Elite Eight. Once they get there, it might be a little challenge.
I think we're definitely headed to
Right.
Florida Duke finals, in my opinion.
Hush.
I know, I hate to say it,
Yeah,
but Florida has 2 of everything, baby. They are loaded.
I would be like really shocked if Florida did not make the Final 4. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far either. It's just too much to process. Think about. But there we go. We got y'all something, a little something to go off on as you are building your brackets there. But y'all want to shift gears and talk about this Stephen A. and get into this
Oh, if we must.
situation here. So, unless you've been living under a rock or something lately, there's this feud, if you want to call it that, going on with Stephen A. and LeBron. Well, LeBron did confront Stephen A. courtside, like like a week or 2 ago, and it's just continued to brew like since then. And so I want to play a little clip of Stephen A. of what he. This is Stephen A.'s latest assessment of what all this is brewing from, and then we're gonna get into what you was getting alluding to, Carlin, of just what we think about all this, and also the coverage, the way that sports are covered nowadays, and our thoughts around that. All right, so I'm gonna play this clip for y'all. Let me go ahead and pull it up, get her set on up.
You see, I don't run and hide. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I was never shitting on Bronny James. I wouldn't do that to the James family. I was talking about one person and one person only. We may never speak in life again. I'm fine with it. I get paid to talk about folks, not to them. I cover the league. You play, I watch, dissect, analyze, and broadcast. We ain't got to communicate. We damn sure don't have to say hello to each other. We don't have to do none of that. We don't get along. And there's a multitude of reasons why. I've alluded to some of them, but we know what the biggest reason is. I ain't Shannon Sharp. It ain't GOAT status this way. My GOAT is Michael Jordan. 35,000 points, eclipsing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with over 38,000, ultimately 40,000, now 50,000, another all-star appearance, another 50-point game, whatever. Ain't my GOAT. I watch the game. I'm a student of the game. I know a GOAT when I see one.
So he says he knows a GOAT when he sees one. Stephen
I
A.
know a
said
jackass when I see one.
Stephen A. said he ain't talk about Bronny. It was never about him. He just analyzes the game. What do y'all think about this whole feud, this whole thing, and Stephen A.'s comments there?
Well, LeBron checked him as a father, and as a father, I know what that's like. Um, if someone comes for your son or daughter, as a father, you'd be less of a man not to stand up for their honor.
Yes.
So um, Stephen A. has been all wrong for a long time in his journalism efforts. So he's taking the route that um, Skip Bayless took. We're going after LeBron James. Um, and it's all, I mean, it's all just for ratings and for money for him, just, and it's sad. Um, why would you attack another African American male, whose past has not been checkered with scandal or anything like that, who is an outstanding father, outstanding husband, just an outstanding individual in the community, and an outstanding basketball player. Um, so to just have the hate and vitriol for someone like that, it just speaks to um, who you are as a person, and who Stephen A. is as a person. He's not a very good human. Um, he's just a greedy, narcissistic male who um, wasn't a good basketball player his own self. Um,
Don't do him like Jalen Rose.
Not too much of an SQ.
I mean, it's the truth.
He did play for the great Clarence Gate.
He,
Big up James.
he never really stepped foot on the court. He didn't have any game. I mean, period. And it's usually those guys that can't play that always have a lot to say. Um, and unfortunately, they have the guys that can't play as analysts. He shouldn't be an analyst.
Yeah.
Not at the nature that he is. I mean, there are some people that are, good analysts that haven't played,
Yeah.
but to be revered for his basketball knowledge, Hubie Brown is a great analyst.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mike
Can
Breen. That's
break,
a guy. I love the way he calls the game.
yeah, but those guys can break down the game where coaches
Mm-hmm.
played, um, and may not have been outstanding players,
Right.
but they played at a high enough level to understand the game, um,
Yeah.
And they
and
respect.
and be respected
Yeah.
Yes.
and give respect, just because they understand how much it takes. Just think about how much. Just think about the longevity of LeBron James for one, and how much it takes for him to keep his body going at 40 years old,
It's
and
crazy.
to compete at the level that he's competing at 40
Yeah.
years. We'll never see anything like this
Never.
Oh
again.
no. Oh no.
Yes.
So, I mean, he can say whatever he wants to say, um, but he's just chasing a dollar, and he's doing it on another man's back.
We're gonna talk
So
about the dollars too.
he he need,
Another
he
story.
need
All money ain't good money.
LeBron James for he's be thanking LeBron James for the money he's made him.
Oh yeah,
Because that's where he's been getting paid off of LeBron, just like Skip Bayless got paid off of LeBron.
you can look at when ESPN took the turn of like analysts, commentary, kind of like, just being more straight up, bringing in experts for X's and O's, but not doing too much as, a personality. Whenever you can look, and LeBron is one of those big changes whenever he
Yep.
entered the league. And just the way the change of social media and all, the way everything started evolving. And it was just such an evolution shift. And I even remember my time working at ESPN with the shift happening whenever I was there, of how it became more about entertainment. And they would force stories, like force talking about the Lakers or talking about LeBron, talk about whatever, not even relevant to like what's going on right now. You're creating stories or creating topics that just talk about day after day, because it's like that's where the hits go, and that those are the popular people.
That's the money.
You can see it where it is now in 2025. Like from that birth, it is just ruined sports cover. I don't even turn on the TV to look at sports stuff anymore.
Nope.
Like
not at all.
I
Not at
can't do it.
I refuse to.
It's like very hard. There are very select people or shows that I listen to now, that I can have on in the background where I don't get too annoyed or anything like that.
Yeah.
PTI is basically the only thing I can stomach at this point. And that's once a week, twice a week when I do that. But Carl, I think you hit all the points that I wanted to hit. Especially the Hubie Brown point was just something that's, to me, it explains everything. It's that people respect Hubie because he respects the game. He respects the people in the game.
Yes.
When have you heard Hubie denigrate a person personally and talk about, oh, I'm going to pit this great athlete versus this other great athlete, and use things in their game to tear this person down? Even though LeBron James is the most durable athlete in any sport in the history of the game, I don't see how you can be critical of this guy for anything. I don't care if you don't like him or like what he does. You have to appreciate the effort that he gives at his age to be the greatest person he can be on and off the court. Any guy that would champion his son to want to join the same industry, whether it's sports or a doctor or a lawyer, there are plenty of fathers out here that steer their kids in a certain direction professionally. And that shows you how much he respects his father to want to follow in his footsteps. Let's have that conversation. How much he respects his father as a man, as a human being, as a person, as a player, to emulate what he does for a living. And LeBron gives him the keys to success in life, how to make money. Y'all hating on LeBron because he was making stacks and stacks of paper at USC, and he wasn't even a star player. So y'all hating on him. Oh, well, he got himself drafted. Oh, he got X amount of money in college and blah, blah, blah. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, this is the system. That's the system we live in today.
Yeah.
Well, what billionaire father is not going to
Gonna push their son in the right direction,
steer their son in the right direction? Who is not going to do that?
Exactly.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
Carlin, you said it eloquently. I look at people in my industry that steer their children into the industry. They say, hey, follow in these footsteps. It's the same thing.
Same story, but it's a black person that's doing it. A young black person at that.
And
A young black billionaire that they can't take it.
Stephen A. of all
Of
people,
all people,
Mr. Promoter of HBCUs,
no,
should
he loves to promote this white supremacy. He loves to go on. Hey, look, I can go on Fox News and talk to the white racists and the white supremacists.
Oh, he
I
loves
can
that.
talk to everybody.
And I could see if Bronny was like a lottery pick, or
No,
if it is like, what is there to analyze about Bronny? Like, let's be for real.
for
he
real
just
though.
do the G and just
Right? Like, it makes no sense for him to. I understand why he's a story, beginning of the season and everything that happens. Yeah, that's a story and everything you cover. But after that, like, why are you even talking about Bronny at all?
Steph Curry went for 50 points that night. That the night they had this whole incident, Steph Curry went for 50 in Madison Square Garden, and that didn't lead the conversation.
that's supposed to always lead.
Come on
Always,
now. If
It's
always.
if I was Steph Curry, I would be hot, dude. I was going 50 points at MSG, and y'all talking about Bronny.
It's
Come on.
just so stupid, and I really blame Skip Bayless so much. And it's him taking that position of being anti-LeBron when he first came in the league, and that stuff like blew up with the people too, and just everybody talking about it. They was just, all you get is those impressions and everything. They don't care about the content, but how many people are talking about it and what's spinning off. And then it became like this whole gimmick that just
Exactly.
went on recycle, rinse, recycle, repeat.
this is the way we make that money. Get
Ugh,
on the Ron wagon.
exactly. Um, and I want to jump into this last story with Stephen A. And just it is related to things y'all were both sharing and bringing up. I want to read a piece of this Guardian article. This is why it's still like very speculative, but it is a real conversation that is going on in so many spaces, and like of political people, of giving this real consideration. As we live in a time where our politics is shaped and informed by culture more than at any time in our history. That's an old adage that politics is just culture downstream. And Stephen A is a good embodiment of that. Smith's star continues to rise. It emerged this week that he had agreed to a new ESPN contract worth at least $100 million for 5 years. He will continue on First Take, but reduce other sports related obligations, increasing his opportunities for political commentary. In recent months, he has appeared on Fox News, News Nation, and HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher. The Stephen A. Smith Show, which streams on YouTube and iHeart, has featured interviews with Hakeem Jeffries, the House of Representatives Democratic Minority Leader, right-wing personality Candace Owens, and Andrew Cuomo, in his first interview since announcing his candidacy for New York mayor. The political chatter around Smith is also a symptom of the demoralization in the leaderless Democratic Party following last November's defeat in elections for the White House. And also, as an example, the Democrats struggled to find a coherent response to Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. And it goes on later in here and talks about how he's been very critical of Kamala Harris during this time, and how he's really setting the stage. What some are thinking about could be a political run. And he's trying not to, and I put in my words, he's trying not to alienate all the bases in that middle line. What do y'all think about Stephen A as a Democratic presidential nominee? Like, a lot of articles are saying that the Democratic Party needs to like give this serious consideration and not take it lightly. Have we gotten to this point in our world of politics now, I guess, just with Donald, is trying to match the Donald Trump energy.
I guess we're trying to go with TV personalities now.
Okay.
What is happening?
I mean, what is his political acumen? He has not been. He ain't. He hadn't even been a county commissioner. How about you know get on some kind of board or something? I don't even. We're dealing with people's lives up. That's a huge undertaking. We already got somebody in there now that's
Foolish.
And the
flying
way
by the.
that talk about playing with people's lives, the way they are playing with people's lives now, with this whole foolishness
Yeah.
with Elon and all them just
Flying by the
cutting
seat of his
jobs,
pants.
just
But-
right out left and right.
Hey, but I say put it to them. Some of these Hispanics that voted for him,
Oh.
and look at where they at.
They sitting
You
around.
wanted him there. You wanted him in there. Now take what he giving to you. Get on up out of here, just like he getting you up out of here.
These town halls, people whining and crying and going on. I'm sitting there
No
like,
DEI.
And
I didn't know I was a DEI hire. Where's my job?
yeah,
Yes, you're a DEI hire.
you're
Get
a
out of
DEI
here.
hire. You're a military vet? Yep, you're a DEI hire. Get up out of here. You wanted to vote for him? Get him. Go ahead. And you got some of these poor whites that was out there voting for him, and now some of your money getting away from you. Get them.
They try to get every dollar you got. They try to take your Medicaid. They
They
try
taking
to take
all
your
of it.
tax money. You ain't gonna have nothing left, boo boo.
okay,
They taking all of it. And if you ain't making $400,000 or more,
You ain't getting nothing.
Exactly. But it is sad that and it's the highest office in the land. Like, why are why are these personalities? Why do we think this is okay as a society for them to run the country?
Not just the United States. Look at Ukraine. They hired a TV person and they're in a war.
This is true.
When can we get to politics being boring? But who's your state senator? You know what? I really don't even know. But life is good.
If I know you like that, then there's a problem.
That's so true. That's so true. What's the president doing today? Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't care.
Who cares?
Everything is going fine.
The world is rotating on its axis. Everything is fine.
But then what is this? This speaks volumes though to the Democratic Party though, like that you can't point to someone.
I mean, listen, we haven't had the midterms yet. I think let's get to the midterms. Let's take these seats. Like, if you can't take seats based on what's going on now, then you just suck at politics. Get out there, hit the streets, have these town halls, talk to the people. Trump is letting you leave the door wide open for you. He's flying by the seat of his pants. He sounds incoherent. He's calling DC no longer DC, it's DA now, the District of America. Just pointless stuff. So I'm like, just come out here and be a politician. Go back to the old school. My God, if you got there and talk to the people, you could be that. You could be that person. But they want to sit back in their ivory towers. I can't go back home. I gotta be here in the fancy DC luncheons and go on cable news, the MSNBC, and MSLSDC, and CNN. I gotta go on TikTok and be TikTok famous. Like, I love Jasmine Crockett, but she's becoming a caricature at this point. She's more TikTok famous than she is about doing anything to freaking stop what's going on in the freaking house. The house is run amok. And it's not even that far in the house. The house is pretty close. a couple
Yeah.
votes here and there, and they can't do nothing. So the Democrats just suck at government. They suck at communication. They just suck.
Well, I I think all the parties suck right now. So it's
Well, the
we
Republicans goes without saying.
we need
Wholesale changes everywhere.
wholesale changes
Yeah.
every. Cameron, you stated how does this happen? It's because we have become nothing but sheep,
God, yes.
and a sheep is a dumb animal. It just
That's the sound bite right there.
That's the sound out of the year right there. I love it. We're dumb. We're dumb as hell.
we are. I mean, we as Americans, that's what we are. We are sheep, led to slaughter.
It's just so sad. I'm not gonna be able to take it. If Stephen A, if he's serious and he jumps up here in some kind of race, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Listen, I don't want nobody that's gonna be sympathetic to white supremacists. I want white supremacists to go back into the closet, go back into hiding, and be in their own little separate little quarters. I'm tired of seeing them all over the place on these news stations, in public office.
Because I already
They gotta
see,
go.
and he talks a lot of politics on his, like, whenever I see different clips and stuff, he talks a lot of politics and stuff now. And it's kind of like building that brand. And he kind of attacks the Democrats. He said, like, they was focused too much on wokeness and da da da. Like he sounds
Oh God,
like
he was
a
doing this. I
white
was using this
guy.
terminology still.
Yeah, like he's still using this kind of terminology that don't make no sense, and as if we've been focused on, like, we're not the ones bringing that up. That's all like right wing talk.
Who
Like
said who's saying this?
Stephen A. Smith. The Democratic Party is too focused on wokeness and transgenderism and da 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 da, and not focus on the people. And
Who
So,
focuses on transgenders more than Republicans?
thank you. Like nobody else is
Nobody talks about it
talking
but
about.
them.
Nobody else, like, these are not.
that was on Candace Owens' playbook. So
Yes,
he's
exactly.
coming out of that playbook. He boy, he's a charlatan all the way.
All the way, like all the way. He flipped this script so fast on Kamala. He was talking about how he got bamboozled and food and everything on her. Like
And everything she said has come into fruition.
he has. He is just a charlatan all the way, and that's
But,
why I can see him actually doing it.
but you know what's so weird? You talk about transgenderism, right? Trump, it came out today, is stopping the funding for the University of Pennsylvania because of a trans athlete.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So who's focused on transgenderism?
I saw that. And when I looked up the stat that out of 500,000 athletes in the NCAA, they're non-transgender athletes.
9 people.
And they are stopping the world. And
Stop funding for your university because there's one trans athlete.
Wait a minute. No,
you would think there were tons and all this stuff out of the way. Out of 500,000 athletes, there are less than 10. There are 9.
Whew.
But this is like their number one, but they know how to play on this, and it's just so gross and sitting into me. This whole thing is just so gross, and he's going down that line.
I'm going to Canada. Freak this. I'm a Canadian. I love the way they hate on America and Mexico.
It's serious.
Yes.
I got a friend in Toronto, and he be texting me all the time. He be showing me the shelves. All the American stuff is like stat full. Everybody's buying the Canada products. They're not allowed to, like, they're kind of sticking together on this because it's like we've been relying on the US too much already, like, as a country. So we need to kind of change our thinking, but
We could learn something from that.
I don't know how well it's gonna work out for Canada. We'll see. Canada, that's a whole different thing, but at least as the people, they are all kind of together
Oh
in their
yes.
attack. That's
Brothers, I I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in us. What? Why do we let this happen to us?
I don't know. It's
I, so how do we let a few run billions?
run billions,
Yes.
but it happens all the time in history. I don't.
How do we? How are we that weak where we can't understand or see the tricks that the system is playing on us and pitting us against each other so that we continue to be in this cycle of warring against each other.
It's a
Like,
cycle.
and it's a cycle. Like, I, it saddens me because we could have so much fun on this earth if
That part.
We're supposed to.
we're supposed to have dominion of this earth, not dominion over people. I mean, that's
Yes.
not how it was. That's not how it was made. We were not made to dominate other people. We were made to dominate animals and things like that, and inanimate objects, but not other people. And we have uh, the way our society is made up now. That's what we do, and we we don't help each other. We don't live to just say, "Hey, look at this beautiful earth that we
Yes.
Right.
if we could just
Yes.
enjoy together." We don't have long here,
That part.
and we
And you
don't.
can't take none of it with
You
you.
can't take nothing with you.
It's inevitable. We're all going to die. That's an
That's
inevitable
a
thing.
constant.
That I mean, but we still over here doing ignorant stuff.
It's like we're in bizarre world. It's like when you get it, but everybody else doesn't get it, and you don't know what to do
I,
to make people get it.
I just don't understand it.
I don't
I
understand.
look and I'm
Like
like,
there's a greater a greater scheme of things in this country more than dominating people and money and just owning people.
you
It's something sick in the mind. Like for your mind to even think about that, to want to do that. Like
you got
Yeah,
sick.
it's a sickness. Cause
it
I
is.
don't it's just I don't understand. I just don't understand how that thought even creeps up in your mind to do.
Yeah, I mean that's just evil. But then we like every day. You remember how back in the day they used to have the hamsters be on the wheel, just running on
Mm-hmm.
the wheel. I I think that's that's like us.
That's us.
It's us, definitely.
We just
Well,
hamsters on the wheel.
as brothers, we need to figure out how to break this cycle. And
Yeah, I mean
don't let
it's,
this be us the rest of our lives. Like
it's ridiculous, man. There's no reason for like like you say us as brothers for us not to just say, freak this. We're not going to do this. Some kind
I'm
of
already
way.
there. I'm
Some kind
ready.
of way. We're we're going to be that anomaly. We're going to enjoy everything of this earth that we can, and
that's what I'm trying to do. That's oof.
we're not going to allow the world and everything else dictate to us, we're gonna dictate back to it. And that's the part that frustrates me when I say, how do we let the few run us?
Yeah.
That's true. Instead of changing the game, how about we just opt out of it? I don't want to be part of the game.
Yeah.
Questions to ponder. Well, I think that's a good note to end on for this week's podcast. It's been
Yes.
fun getting back
Hey, getting
and
back.
chatting it up with my
Hello,
brother.
America. We're back.
Yes, with that real talk.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And we will have much more of that to come this season. And with that said, brothers, love you.
Love
Love it.
y'all.
Next time.
Godspeed. And don't watch too much news or sports talk.
This has been a Rosie B production. Follow the Parker's Couch on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Podbean, and wherever you get your podcast sourcing.